We already mentioned, you want to briefly touch on touching Qur'an without wudu, touching Mus'haf without wudu.
Akhi, touching Mus'haf without wudu. And that gives me as well a hint to answer another question if there is another question there. Mus'haf contains the words of Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَمَنْ ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. He who upholds the symbols of Allah, this is the sign of the taqwa, the piety of the heart. So if we know that fact, if we know that we're holding the Qur'an, we're holding the words of the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala, then touching the Qur'an, you're not allowed to do it except if you are on full purity from the major and the minor defilement. So you have to have full purity. If you're reading Qur'an without touching the Qur'an, then we would say it is recommended to be on purity, but there's no harm for you to read it even if you're not impure, if you are not pure, because the Prophet ﷺ and also the companions, the Prophet of Allah, he said to Aisha when she was in her menses, do what the Haji does except for tawaf and salah. And also the Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, as in Sahih Bukhari, and that is he used to read his Qur'an, his hizb, while he was on janaba. So recitation without touching is no problem. And I will link this to another question. Somebody asked me regarding writing on the Qur'an. Again, we need to make sure that we are looking at the Qur'an as to be something that is not to be humiliated in any way or any form. So to put it on the floor where people come passing by, or to put things like, for example, plates on top of it, and writing also, because some people they write on the Qur'an. Some of the teacher asking, for example, I'm teaching Qur'an for the children, so can I write, for example, well done, because he recited the Qur'an like this? No, you're not supposed to do that. You could put a sticker onto that page, a sticker, and to say that well done. So you're writing on the sticker, not writing on the Mus'haf itself. And for those who are writing something which is to do with their qira'ah, let's say, for example, they are making tajweed, and the teacher had said to them that you are not doing very well in this, the ikhfa, so make sure that next time you are basically mastering this. So this student, he wanted to put something on the Qur'an to remind him that there is something wrong here with his own recitation that would make him to focus on his problem. I would say that is supposed to be with the minimum. Number one has to be with pencil and to be really light. But people writing stars, and it's like they're writing any book, and anything like dots and circles, and so just a little, for example, indication there, like a little line with not a ball pen, it's with pencil that can be rubbed. So any person can read the Qur'an. He knows that he's reading the Qur'an. He doesn't want to put your letters or words inside the Qur'an. It will be part of the Qur'an. So you have to be careful regarding the Mus'haf and make sure that the Mus'haf is to be, as I said, upheld in the most respectful way, but not to the extent, like for example, I have a Mus'haf, let's say, on that table, or on that table behind me. For example, I've got a table behind me. Oh, you can't sit this way because the Mus'haf is on that way. I will not be able to sleep or even sit if it is that way. So it's not really like that much. Or for example, respecting the Mus'haf by some people, they take it and then they do it like that. All of that is not correct. Ya Ikhwani, what you're kissing, it's not kissing the words of Allah. You're kissing papers which are made, I don't know, maybe in China. I'm not saying coronavirus here, but I'm just saying. But this is kissing the Mus'haf is a bid'ah, and prostrating on top of it as well. That's such the surah. It's not really good. It's not correct. So you should not be doing such a thing. Allah Ta'ala a'lam. Worse than that as well, making a miniature Quran, dangling from the cars. I've seen them. Subhanallah, what is this? Can protect your car with this? And some people, there is smoking in it, cigarettes. That's not respectful to the Qur'an. طيب.
جزاك الله خير.